Hi everyone. Another first introduction to a band I've never heard before, and that is Blur. Well, the song that I see on the screen in front of me is called Song 2, and I have to say I find that mildly amusing because it makes me think of, okay, Sonata number 8, Symphony number 3, Song 2, yeah, just number them one after the other. So I have no idea what it sounds like. I'll find out in a couple minutes. First, I'll read what I have on the screen. Blur are an English rock band formed in London in 1988. In 2012, they received a Brit Award for Outstanding Contribution to Music. Okay. Song 2 is the second song on their... Isn't that fitting? Song 2 is the second song on their eponymous fifth studio album. Maybe that's why it's called Song 2. Released physically on the 7th of April 1992, Song 2 peaked at number 2. Song 2 peaked at number 2 on the UK singles chart. Maybe they should have named it Song 1 and put it as the first song. Might have made it to number 1, huh? Number 4 on the Australian ARIA singles chart, and number 6 on the US Billboard Modern Rock Tracks chart. Well, let's see how this Song 2 actually sounds.
It wasn't easy, but nothing is. No.
That little rhythm there, which is in the intro as well as showing up here again, it's kind of like a caffeinated high-tempo version of We Will Rock You, isn't it? Bum, 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 ta-dum, bum, 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 ta-dum, bum, bum. Or maybe little rabbits hopping instead of people, right? It's some little creature that, or little kids, that have shorter legs and they move a bit quicker. Bum, 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 ta-dum, bum, 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 ta-dum. But it's still kind of the We Will Rock You rhythm, which is really a classic rhythm, but still, ever since I've heard We Will Rock You, somehow I associate it with that one.
But nothing is. No. When I feel heavy metal, and I feel that I need when I lie and I'm easy all of the time, but I'm never sure why I need you. Please I need you. I got my head down when I was young. It's not my problem. It's not my problem.
But it's interesting to hear this little bit of acoustic strummed. I don't know if it's actually guitar. It almost sounds like it could be banjo or something like that. Just a very, very light plucked instrument there with the voice. And this voice actually is a pretty light sounding voice when you think about it. It's let's go back and listen to this again because I'm just noticing all of these details.
Down when I was young. It's not my problem. It's not my problem. When I feel heavy metal, and I feel that I need
Even here, where it's a
all of the time, but I'm never sure why I need you. Please I need you.
even here where it's a heavier, more power sound, the voice itself has a very lightweight quality to it, which is nice. It balances the heaviness with this still kind of light and cheery It's a very young sounding voice to my ears as well. The idea of, as I said, little kids, little rabbits, hoppity hop, bum bum bum, da bum bum. Even in this power passage, you still keep that youthful, lightweight quality, partly because the tempo remains the same, but also, especially, I think, because of the lightness of the voice, the sort of light tenor quality of the voice. Can't hurt to throw in the woo-hoos, right? That was an abrupt ending. What a short little song, actually. It feels like it's just barely getting started, actually, to me. It feels like somehow maybe it's supposed to go into the next song on the album. It's song 2. Is there song 3 coming up? I don't know. But it's a even the length of it sort of embodies this quality of lightweight. And I'm looking at the lyrics here, which is kind of funny because of course it's full of woohoo, woohoo, which of course I can't help but think of the Beatles introducing all of their little interjections, the yeah, 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 which also shows up in here. But this, I got my head checked by a jumbo jet. What on earth does he mean by that? It wasn't easy, but nothing is. And then this is what I find kind of entertaining. When I feel heavy metal and I'm pins and I'm needles. Okay, that's some heavy material there lyrically, right? Heavy metal. Pins and I'm needles. Well, although pins and needles are still kind of small. But that's the heavy section of the music when that comes in. And it's interesting to me to hear the lightness, the lightweight quality of the music with a topic like, when I feel heavy metal and I'm pins and I'm needles. I'm not sure, maybe this has something to do with perhaps drug use reference, because then it says, well, I lie and I'm easy all of the time, but I'm never sure why I need you. Pleased to meet you. Possibly, but I don't want to read into it something I don't know. But it just somehow strikes me as it could be that. Other than that, I really have no clue what the lyrics are about. You know, it might just be supposed to be sounding like some kid goofing off and saying nonsense and having a grand fun time, which it actually does a good job of doing, I have to say. What they've done, keeping it light and humorous. Let's go back and listen to this intro again. I mean, it's just two primary thematic elements of the piece. You have this intro, which is the rhythm. And this strummed, maybe it's guitar, maybe it's banjo, I'm not sure. And then there comes roaring in. This is the second section. Now this is the lightweight part. I've got my head checked by a jumbo jet. I mean, what sort of silly idea is that? It sounds like a, let's say, a 15-year-old, right? Hanging out with friends, being goofy, being funny. And then we switch to the heavy metal right here. But this interjection, when I feel heavy metal, woo! It's as I said, it in spite of the fact that it goes into this sort of metallic, heavy roar in the guitars, and the change in musical texture, it doesn't come across as a heavy song. To me, it feels like it's meant to be funny. It's meant to be an expression of, just youthful, foolish, hanging out, goofing off, saying funny things to your friends, maybe seeing if you can one-up your friends with the most nonsensical line you can say. That's how it strikes me. And if that's really what it's meant to do, it actually works pretty well. And it's such a simple piece. Actually, there's very little to pull apart in it, actually, musically, material-wise. But because of that, it actually makes a good example and an easy, a fun piece to, kind of play along with or jam along with pretty quickly. So actually, I'm going to put my headphones back on and let's just do a little bit of fun stuff here for a minute, okay? Just because we can have fun with the kids, right? Okay, so let's hear this opening. And as much as I am going back to the "We Will Rock You" rhythm, bum bum bum, da bum 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 bum, but actually, you notice there's a bit of a variant here. It's not exactly that. The rhythm, the texture of it, and the strikes of it are within that overall feel are a bit different, a little bit dressed up, but we can still add on something like it's that. And then the guitar comes in. And that's basically what the guitar is doing here. Let's see. And I think it's maybe adding on a fifth here. Let's just double check. Yeah. And notice, this is what I noticed. This is worth pointing out, is that this light dance-like section is very much the same material as we have in the metallic section. Actually, if you listen to the bass, it's easiest to hear it down in the bass, because this is what we're working with. It's those notes. We're going to keep A flat here. We're working on an A flat. C, B flat, A flat with a fifth above. It's maybe a dressed up or a modification of the power chord, which is the root and the fifth. But now it's played up in the guitar accompaniment. More strummed. That's what's happening in that lightweight section. Now, if we listen to the bass here, which points us through this metallic roar. And so basically it's just built off of this that we heard up here, which was also dressed up with the fifth. Now it's just doing this. And if we listen to this passage, you can hear that everything above it is built on that. And the guitar that. So why do I say this? Why do I point all of this out? Well, first of all, it's fun to see how music fits together. It's fun to see how you can take, what do we have here? We have three notes. We have a sort of added on decoration of it. And we have a couple bass notes thrown in. That's it. That is it. All built around A flat or G sharp, depending on how you're thinking of it. And that's basically what this music is made of, what this piece is made of. That's it. Well, is it more than just figuring out, okay, we can play along, we can identify this note, this chord, whatever, we can play along, we can jam along? It's actually a bit more than that, because, as I said, this piece of music strikes me as being something which is designed to express the teenage, carefree, out having fun, nothing serious, goofing off, just, being a bit ridiculous because you can and because we like to, especially when we're teenagers. And teenagers don't normally, most of them aren't musical virtuosos, right? Most of them, they might, if they're into music, they might have a guitar, they might know a couple chords, they might be able to fiddle around and come up with something. And so the music, the material that this music is made out of also fits the character of the piece. It's everything there exactly at the sort of level of the sort of character that it's meant to portray. And in that regard, it's incredibly accurate, I think, and fits the design of it very well. Is it something that I would find myself listening to? Probably not. Because that is not me. I'm not 15. I'm not hanging out with friends trying to be goofy and just waste my after-school free time. Maybe I shouldn't say waste, because that can have negative meanings associated with it. Pass my after-school free time in a free manner. And that's what I find in this song. It works. It works well. Not something that I'll find myself listening to simply because it's not my point in life, but I can appreciate what is being expressed here. And I can appreciate that stage of someone's life as well, because we've all lived through it, haven't we? So that's Blur, my first introduction to Blur. I wonder if all of their music is kind of at this level, or perhaps they have something more complex. This is interesting that it made its way to number 2 on the UK singles chart. I still think they should have tried putting it number 1, calling it number 1, just because. Wouldn't it be hilarious if it somehow made it to number 1 on the chart? Probably wouldn't have, but anyway, it's fun to play with the idea, since we're playing around, right? And so I'll probably come back to them at some point in the future, check out some of their other music as well, and get a bit more familiar with them. So that was fun. I'll see you soon.